Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. My name is Dan and today we are doing the Game Week 14 episode of Buy, Sell, Keep, Avoid. A little bit later than usual, apologies, I have been away for the first half of this game week, but still, we're back now. We're going to do some Buy, Sell, Keep, Avoid. So guys, if you do enjoy this video, if you are happy to be back on the FPL Mate channel, please do leave a like, really does help out so much. And do subscribe as well if you are new around here, guys. But let's get on with the rules of the video. Okay, so buys are players you probably don't have but should consider bringing in. Sells are players you probably have but should consider removing. Keeps are players you might be thinking about removing but I think you should keep them. And avoids are players that are pretty up right now but I think it's a potential trap that are going to be avoided. I think you guys get the idea by now. I'm just, at this point, because I know you guys know the rules, I'm just saying it like really, really quickly. See how fast I can get it. Maybe we can go even faster. Let's start off with some buys. Alright. Our first buy today is going to be Phil Foden. So, I know a lot of people are actually selling him this game week, which is pretty wild to me. He's actually one of the most sold players of the game week. Obviously, having that one-pointer last game week probably upset a few people, made a few people a little bit nervous maybe about the future. Honestly, guys, I would not worry. It was a real surprise to see Foden benched in game week 13. That is something that does not happen very often. He's been pretty much as nailed on as you can get for a Man City player this season, which has just been absolutely fantastic and made him such good value. And often what we see is when a player does get that rest, when they usually play pretty much every single game, that's usually an indication that they're now going to go on a streak of games where they're going to play every single game. So I really am, now that we've had that rest, that one game off for Foden, I'm really expecting him to play every game between now and the World Cup. Now you can see on screen, guys, we are just looking at the next 3 fixtures. Usually we have 4 fixtures on screen for these videos, but we are actually going to have it like this, guys, because after the World Cup, you know, we get unlimited transfers during that period. So we don't need to worry. We only need to think about the next 3 game weeks. That's all you want to think about right now. And this is what we're looking at. Leicester away, Fulham at home, and Brentford at home. Now, this Leicester away game, arguably, I don't know, I've kind of been thinking about maybe making this kind of a grey fixture because this game is getting more and more difficult as Leicester are starting to keep some clean sheets. Maybe that's been in some of the easier game week fixtures, but at the same time, you still feel like a team like Man City are just going to roll anyone over right now. They are really a team capable of scoring any amount of goals. We saw as well, Foden got a goal disallowed a couple of game weeks ago when he last started against Liverpool. That was really close. That could have been some more Foden points there. And previous to that as well, absolutely killing it. You can see on screen, guys, his underlying stats and his actual production is absolutely amazing. 4 goals, 1 assist, doing really, really well at the moment. And we've got some really good fixtures here. That Fulham at home game in particular, I think is absolutely amazing. I think that Brentford game is good as well. So make sure you at least have him by game week 15. But if you haven't got Foden already, you have maybe got a bit lucky last game week with him being on the bench. Now is the time to, you know, just kind of count your blessings in a way and go for him now. This is your opportunity to strike, guys. Next buy is Saka, Nottingham Forest at home up next. After that, I feel like, you know, he's kind of an optional player, but Saka has certainly been doing it very well for Arsenal. He's kind of been the key goal scorer for the team, really, you would probably have to say. He's on penalties as well, which really, really helps. He's creating chances for his teammates, and he seems to be the main guy. I know Gabriel Jesus has kind of dipped in goal-scoring form a little bit, which is not great to see. Martinelli maybe dipping a little bit in that goal-scoring form as well, but, you know, Martinelli is really cheap, so we won't complain about him too much. But as for Saka, still doing very, very well. Obviously, a disappointing result at the weekend for Arsenal, but not to worry. We go forward, and Saka against Nottingham Forest at home, even though Nottingham Forest have been kind of improving lately, you still feel like Arsenal, in a home game like this, with all that they've got to play for, looking to stay at the top of the Premier League, they are really going to go for this game, hopefully have a real nice bounce back, a real nice reaction, and see what Saka can do, basically, because he has been doing very well. He's been the star of the show at Arsenal, so if you're going to go for any Arsenal player right now, Saka is your friend. On to some sells. I'm actually going to put BOWEN as the first sell, which I don't know how I completely feel about this one. When I look at these stats, they do look good on paper, but you have to remember, guys, that a lot of the expected goals that BOWEN has been generating recently has been through penalties. And obviously, he did miss one of those. He has scored penalties this season as well, don't get me wrong. But I'm wondering if that's going to be able to continue. You can't just rely on penalties. You need a little bit more than that. And BOWEN has been offering a little bit more. But so I look at some of these fixtures, and Manchester United away is a tough fixture. Crystal Palace at home, not really sure what to think about that one. Crystal Palace are a bit of a crazy team. And like I say, Leicester, although I'm still listing them as a green fixture, I do wonder if it might be almost time to change our minds about Leicester. Maybe they are a slightly tougher defence now than they were at the beginning of the season. Maybe they've kind of got their stuff together, so to speak. So yeah, if we're looking for midfielders right now, and sells this week, I have to say, were pretty hard. But this kind of is a midfielder special, I think. This episode is a midfielder special. We're going to talk about a lot of midfielders in this buy, sell, keep, avoid video. And basically, Bowen, as good as he is he quite good enough to make the cut in your, 4 or 5 midfielder slots? Because you're going to have Andreas in there. You're going to want to have Foden in there. You're going to want to have Martinelli. You're going to want to have Saka. Maybe you've got a Salah, maybe you've got a De Bruyne in there. It's difficult to try and fit all of the midfielders in that you want to. Someone's got to be sacrificed. And I think now that Bowen's got the easy game against Bournemouth out the way on Monday, I wonder now, is it now time to say goodbye, thank you for your service, Bowen, but it's time to see you later, and we'll move on to some different midfielders. That's probably what I'd be looking to do right now if I still owned Bowen in my fantasy team. Antony is another one who I think I would be selling right now. This is a little bit of a difficult one, and I know this is going to be a little bit of a hard sell, no pun intended there, but this is what I want to say about Manchester United's fixtures, because I've had a lot of people kind of in the comments and on Twitter as well talking about Manchester United as a team with some really, really nice fixtures. And I kind of thought, okay, how do we fit this one in? I want to talk about Manchester United's fixtures in some way. Let's throw in a Manchester United player into the sell category, as controversial as that might be. But look, buy, sell, keep, avoid videos, they're meant to be controversial. They're meant to spark discussion. They're meant to try and look at different opinions and try and go against the grain a little bit at times and kind of just open things up to some different opinions. So this is my personal opinion, and the opinion is actually rooted very much in fact, and the fact is that both West Ham and Aston Villa have some of the best defensive numbers in the entire Premier League. And I know you're going to say, but they're so bad, these teams are bad. Yes, because they're not scoring goals. West Ham, not really scoring many goals. Aston Villa, definitely not scoring many goals. But both of these teams are conceding barely any chances and actually rank among the most tough defences to face, because they just don't concede chances at all, really. And those they do concede are very, very weak opportunities to score. We are talking about West Ham and Aston Villa in literally the top 4 defences in the Premier League. You look at the last couple of game weeks, you look at 4 game weeks ago, you look at 5, 6, 7. They are the toughest defences in the league right now, or among the toughest defences in the league right now. And it's kind of similar to trying to say, do you consider Chelsea a tough game? Well, yes. Do you consider Arsenal a tough game? Yes. Do you consider Spurs a tough game? Yes. West Ham and Aston Villa are both doing better defensively than all of those teams I just mentioned. So I think we kind of need to break our ideas about who is a bad team and who is a good team and kind of try and divide it up a little bit. Because if you're a defender going into these games, then actually they're probably quite good fixtures, because West Ham, not really scoring too many. Aston Villa, not really scoring too many. So these are good games for defenders, not so great for attackers. Now, when we get to Fulham in game week 16, that changes. I kind of like that one. If you're going to go for a 1-week punt on some Manchester United players, then game week 16 is definitely a very, very good time to do that. But so for 7.6 million, am I going to want to have Antony in my team when I could be selling him for the likes of Saka or a Foden? Definitely not. I would want to remove Antony and get in those other players who are of a similar price. So although he has scored a couple of goals, he has taken a lot of shots, albeit in pretty poor positions, I guess. He's not been taking very many high-quality chances, you would say. Kind of a lot of low-quality chances. I just feel like Antony is a player I would be looking to sell right now. If you want to bring him back in for that Fulham game, then maybe that's something that you could do. Overall, I don't think there's any real need to have Antony in your team right now. So, Manchester United fans, I'm sorry, he's a sell. Now, Zaha, however, is a keep, which is, again, another slightly controversial one, because I know a lot of you guys will be looking to sell Zaha potentially. I think if you can try and keep Zaha, I would try. Like, I know, obviously, if that's your only way of getting to the likes of Foden, then I completely understand why you would be looking to sell Zaha. I understand that. But if you can keep him, I think I probably would. Because although he did get a 1-pointer last game week in game week 13, and everyone's like, oh, my word, here comes Zaha, back out again with his trolls, his, not putting up a very good performance at all, and then getting a yellow card to top it off. 1-pointer, let's go champ. it's not good, right? But at other times, he really does show his brilliance. And remember, it was only game week 12 where he last scored a goal, and it was a pretty decent goal as well. So if we see Zaha in those dangerous areas when he's playing at home against the likes of Southampton, who are one of the weaker defences in the league, I really do like that one. I really do like that fixture a lot. So maybe if we can try and keep Zaha for one more game week against Southampton, I would even consider keeping him for that West Ham game, maybe that Nottingham Forest game, that's pretty decent as well. But certainly for this Southampton at home game, it's a nice one. And then maybe when he has those away fixtures, maybe you can remove him then. But I do feel like he's worth giving another chance. Remember, he's on penalties as well. Crystal Palace haven't had any penalties for a very long time now. It's only going to take one penalty to come their way, and Zaha is going to look on paper like a very, very good FPL pick once again. So ride your luck, see what you can get, make your own luck. I think Zaha is a keep. I have him in my team, and I would be definitely keeping him. I'm also going to say keep Salah. Again, controversial because Salah is the #1 most sold player so far this game week. Everyone is selling Salah right now, and I'm here to tell you, don't sell him. Like, I know, again, and this always happens. You get off the back of a really disappointing result for your player. You buy a player, you expect big things from them. Similar with Zaha, similar with Foden, and people look to sell these players. Salah, it was the same situation against Nottingham Forest, right? We all hoped for the world. Some of you guys would have captained him as well and come away feeling really, really disappointed. But around this blank against Nottingham Forest, Salah has really been smashing it. He smashed it against Rangers. What was it? 2 goals in that game. Against Manchester City, he looked absolutely on fire. He came away with 1 goal in the end from that game, but he looked absolutely scintillating. Then we had the Nottingham Forest game. Disappointing, I know, but he still was taking plenty of shots in that game and arguably had a couple of opportunities to score. It wasn't to happen for him on the day. And then again, in the Champions League game from last night, Salah, 1 goal, 1 assist. So I know that one Premier League game looks bad, but if you look at the 2 Champions League games either side of it, the Premier League game against Manchester City as well, 3 out of the 4 last games that Salah has played in, he has played very, very well. Got those returns. I know they don't really count as returns in the Champions League because they're not in FPL, right? But still, that is signs of a player who is in very good form right now. We've got Leeds at home next, one of the weakest defences in the league right now. We've got to be keeping him. And arguably, guys, if you are worried about the Haaland injury, and look, I've seen a video of him limping around. I want to wait and find out exactly what's going on there with Haaland, to be honest. But Salah is genuinely a captaincy option. I know you guys don't want to get burned by him again like you did last game week, but I look at the performances, 3 out of the last 4, he is doing very, very well right now, and I think it's a little bit early to write him off. You know, you look at the XG, look at the XA. These are very, very high right now, and he's probably going to get a few more returns, given the amount of chances he is getting right now. So there you go. Salah, there's my spiel. There's my shtick. Let me know what you think. I'm saying keep Salah. Finally, some avoids. We'll start you off with the easy one, Castagne. So, obviously, Castagne is one of the most popular transfers in this week. Pretty hyped up. Obviously, he's got plenty of clean sheets recently, which is really, really good. Absolutely amazing. If you've owned Castagne through that period of time, then that's, well, yeah, good for you. And I say that makes me sound really salty. Good for you. God, yeah, I wish I got those returns. I do wish I did. I didn't. You guys wish you got the returns as well. If you don't own Castagne either, you're probably wishing, I wish I got those returns. I wish I got all those points from him. Well, guess what? You ain't going to get them in game week 14, that's for sure. Because we got this game against Manchester City, which is a real toughie. And if there's one fixture during the entire Premier League season, or 2 fixtures, I guess, because you play them twice, that you do not want to buy a defender in a particular game week, it is those 2 game weeks where your team is about to face Manchester City. It's just FPL suicide. It's just not a good idea ever. So I feel like the people buying Castagne right now are looking at the results, but not really looking at the future. They're looking at the past. They're thinking, hey, this guy scored a bunch of points. Maybe he's going to score a bunch of more points. And he may well do, but probably not in game week 14. So if you are looking to get a new 4.5 million defender, I would wait a little while longer and maybe go for Castagne in game week 15 or game week 16, because I really doubt he's going to get anything in game week 14. Even if you think he's going to get some attacking returns in that game, look, it's Manchester City. They're also one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the league. I mean, statistically, they are the best defense in the league. So it's just a lose-lose situation. If you're looking for that 4.5 million defender this game week, I would recommend going for Ben White instead. But yeah, definitely not Castagne. And then we'll rock up with another controversial one. So, Rashford. And you can see a lot of people are looking to get Rashford right now. I don't think I would be looking to do that. And this is kind of a difficult one. I kind of found the second avoid to be kind of a difficult one to kind of pick, really. So I've kind of copied one of my sells, essentially, by saying don't go for a Manchester United player. So once again, this West Ham and Aston Villa fixture, these are not easy fixtures. They really aren't. Now, the FPL website lists them as green fixtures. This is why you kind of watch FPL content. Like, you guys will know this. You watch FPL content because you want the deeper understanding. You want to have the more nerdy conversations about FPL that you just can't get from the FPL website. So these two fixtures, I've listed them as grey fixtures, but they're actually really quite tough ones in terms of trying to create chances and trying to get chances for forward. And also, I know a lot of people saying, well, Rashford, you know, maybe he's going to be playing as a striker. You know, he's a midfielder playing out of position as a forward for Manchester United. Surely that's a good thing, right? And usually I would say yes, but I don't know. Manchester United fans, what do you reckon? What do you think? I actually feel like Rashford is better when he's playing on the left-hand side. I actually feel like he's better when he's kind of out wide on the counter-attack, cutting in maybe. I like him a little bit more that way. I prefer him there rather than a striker, but maybe I'm a little bit crazy. Maybe there's not as much in it as I thought. But most of the point, Rashford hasn't got a single FPL return in 2 months now. Like, it really is quite crazy. Like, I know he had his really, really good month, I guess, when he did loads, particularly against Arsenal, where he absolutely destroyed Arsenal, and I'm not salty about that at all, I promise. But since then, he's got nothing. Not a single goal, not a single assist, nothing. And he is kind of getting a couple of chances in some of these easier games as well, even in some slightly tougher games, which is quite nice to see from him. But he's not producing right now. So I'm wondering if the confidence is not quite there. I'm wondering if he's going to be rotated a little bit, although there's probably not much scope for him to be rotated. But as long as he's not scoring goals, are Manchester United going to want him to be their main man right now? And I don't know. I don't know for sure. But difficult fixtures and lack of returns make Rashford, for me, a pretty easy avoid, I think. Again, another one of those players who I would probably wait until game week 16 for that Fulham game. That would be the time I would be looking to take a punt on Rashford. But for now, not happening. Avoid. Right, in summary, guys, it's going to be all about the midfielders, really. So I imagine this will be a game week where a lot of you guys will be looking to roll if you have the likes of Foden and Saka, and maybe Almiron is maybe another player that you're probably considering right now. If you don't have the likes of Haaland and Cancelo and they look like they're good to go, they're obviously players you really want to be making sure you have in your team as well. But it's going to be, other than that, a pretty relaxed game week. Maybe you want to make some defensive changes, but I don't think there's going to be any major swings this week. So don't feel like you're forced to make a transfer if you don't want to this week. There are some fixture swings in game week 15 and 16 that you maybe want to consider a little bit more, maybe saving your transfers for that. But it's all going to be all about the midfielders and making sure your midfield is just good to go in the perfect position. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Don't forget that I am still giving away this signed Chelsea shirt. If you're looking to get your hands on this signed by the entire first team of Chelsea, then do make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at FPL Mate on both of those, and we'll be announcing the competition probably by the weekend. So yeah, we'll give this away to one of you guys, and hopefully it's going to mean a lot to you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you later on today for the 100 Experts video. Yes, that's right. The 100 Experts video is coming back to the FPL Mate YouTube channel. I can't wait. I hope you guys can't wait as well. But until then, I'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye.